It's a blend.
It says
of
Kentucky
multiple.
Straight Bourbon Whiskey on the
Yeah,
label.
I know, but like the label that came with it showed the different ones that they've mixed for
Really?
that Four Roses, because that was like a special batch.
No, wait, there was a label on it?
Yeah,
that
there
you
was like
took
that little
off?
thing that goes around the head of it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I
should have probably saved it so I could have like.
I just proved it to everybody.
Yeah,
while
and
you were
just to,
drinking
like-
it. It's like, oh, this isn't. Let me show you what this is. I'm sure you want to learn something today, so let's
We're not
have
gonna
a
talk
seat
bikes, we're gonna
on
talk
Uncle Sam's
bourbon.
lap. Have a seat. Before we begin, let's throw some thanks and some sponsor mentions, everybody. Athletic Brewing, jump aboard the non-alcoholic craft beer bandwagon. Slightly ironic because we just finished talking about bourbon. It actually has come a long way, you guys, since the days of O'Doul's and Sharps. Was it Sharps or Sharp? I think. You guys don't know fucking.
Oh, I've seen it. I think it's Sharps.
Sharp. Is it Sharps?
I don't remember. I remember
Are they both
O'Doul's.
possessive? Yeah.
And then Killabur.
Caliber. Yeah,
Caliber,
was the
Caliber.
Guinness one,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, they're far beyond IPA, stouts, light, even cheladas. They call it. What the fuck is it called? Chelada nada.
Mm-hmm.
Witty, right? Click the link at packfiller.com today. Gooder sunglasses, folks. Talk about the best. You want great, super affordable, non-slip, polarized, stylish glasses for riding both outdoors and in. Well, you know that it is high power. I fucked this lineup last week, and I write the commercials, so you think I'd know what I was writing. You
It's
know
called
it is.
rehearsal pad.
It is. I like to go off the cuff. High-powered fan season. Gooder has all that and more. I'm not sure on the Packfiller 15 code because I think that was supposed to end in like August, but there might be some left. And I say that every week. So give it a try. See what happens. Let me know if you're getting denied, or something like that. Let me know, and I'll do nothing. Untapped Energy, folks, from their humble beginnings, offering portably packaged maple syrup in 2015. They have grown to be your one-stop shop for maple athletic nutrition while sticking to their roots. Great taste, great fuel. Hit the link at Packfiller. Speaking of hitting the link, let's hit the theme. God, I hope it fucking plays. Did play through the right source. I didn't check that. I got home so late today, and I'm like, Yesterday, I came down, and our glasses were still in the bar.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
It must smell that good
Yeah.
down
Ooh.
here.
Yeah.
Old beer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Bourbon.
a
yeah.
frat
Perfect.
smell.
Yeah.
A little vomit.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Thank
Balls,
God
feet,
you're
and
back,
ass mixed
Jackson.
in.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say something horrible,
Oh.
but Jackson's here,
See?
so I decided not to say it.
Exactly. You're a
What can I
great
say?
buffer.
All you do is just hang out. You just like,
Well, that's all I do all day anyway. So.
Don't do that, Jimmy.
Unfortunately
Jimmy?
for Jackson, we're at the same level as the preschoolers. So
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
shit, I never get off work.
The transition isn't too heavy.
No.
pretty soon, we'll need diapers.
Yeah.
It's now dark in the morning when I get up, and it's dark when I get home. In other words, that means it's time for either riding indoors or getting fat and slow. Currently, I might be on the path to the latter of the two. Let's get motivated. Let's start the Packfiller podcast live from the Rim Break Bar in Spokane, Washington. I do have to say, a moment of holy fucking shit. My father has been here twice in the last 5 days, and both times he wanted to come down and see the Rim Break Bar.
But it smelled like old beer and bourbon.
But
Good. Nothing's changed since you were a child.
Yeah.
fuck you guys. There was a moment my daddy approved me.
Well, good. Good.
Yeah, right. But
Sorry.
anyway, no, I'm kidding. Where the fuck was I? Live from the Big Bar in Spokane, Washington. We are, as always, on YouTube, as well as the home for all things Two Wheels, packfiller.com. I'm Pat Bulger. With me are the usual suspects. Let's throw in your get-to-know panel questions, shall we? Gentlemen, when I introduce you, please answer the following. What was the first rated R movie you remember seeing in the theater, and was it good or bad? Pause for a moment while I allow you to think about that. Paul's already giggling like
I'm embarrassed.
oh,
Yeah.
Debbie Does Dallas. He's likely...
Pretty
Nobody got
close.
that reference.
I do.
Okay. What is it? Rochelle?
No.
from Milan to Minsk.
You'll hear it.
He's likely the only one on tonight's show that could say he's ridden outside in the past week. Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I rode with Brent Soderbergh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brent.
on his birthday.
Oh,
That's
it was
special.
his birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Brent.
that's why I sent that picture, and he said, "Yeah, I'm riding with the birthday boy."
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was because he was naked.
Well, I sent you the one in the shower.
Oh,
Jesus,
Brent's at home
I'm so
going,
stupid.
all right,
Yeah.
movie time.
All right. There's a little story behind it, and I'll try and go as fast as I can. I was 15 years old. I had a couple of guys. The story. I want to take the story to the max, but there's a little after party on this, and I don't mean after party after incident actually.
Okay.
So it was a drive-in. There's a place called the Y in Spokane, so it was a drive-in, and they showed rated R and X rated movies.
Oh, shit.
We
They
got
showed
done.
outdoor rated X movies.
Yeah, and at the Y drive-in. This is,
That's crazy.
mind you, this
It's
is
a
like
different world.
1977
Pee Wee Herman's
or
career.
1978.
Pee Wee Herman's career would have been
Yeah,
completely
so what
saved.
was an X back then? Is my
It was called
question.
Convention Girls.
Convention Girls.
Yeah, it was a rated X movie. My buddy. So we just finished. We got our paycheck from Bucking Bales, and I cashed it out because that's.
I wish the movie was called Bucking Bales.
It would have been better than Convention Girls. Bucking Bells and Convention Girls. So that's but we sat there, and he had a 1949 GMC that was just totally restored, and it was beautiful. And we went to the movies, the three of us, because we didn't have seatbelts back then. It's like a small little cab. And we backed in backwards, hooked up and we're like, can you believe we got into an X-rated film? We're watching, it's like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. And we're trying to pretty good, huh? Yeah. And trying to fool each other.
Yeah.
And then we just said, this is bullshit. So we left and we cruised Riverside and got pulled over by the police. So that's just for letting off
Great.
firecrackers
That's funny.
and fireworks. So
I do want to add a little caveat in here that I only asked for your first R movie. You went straight over
Straight
the
to
edge.
X.
You
Yeah.
just was like, fuck it, I'm going for it here.
Yeah.
Don't
Alright.
see X-rated movies. They're stupid.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's what the internet's
if
for,
you
right?
if you think
Oh,
Maverick,
shit, Jackson's here.
if you think Top Gear Maverick
Yeah.
or Top Gun Maverick
Do
is
not.
stupid plot,
yeah.
these are even worse than that.
Really?
I'm just saying.
Was it like air conditioner repairman kind of thing?
No, it was a convention and a bunch of girls at a convention
Oh,
with
yeah.
these guys.
Well, yeah, okay.
To be honest with you, I think that's as far as the plot got.
I wonder what the
So-
convention was for. Is like
I have no idea,
It's, no,
but-
it's definitely not an insurance seminar or something.
No.
like that.
No.
It probably was. I have no idea what the whole thing was. It
TED
was
Talk.
like, I think we were there for about 15 minutes and said, screw this.
Just
Just get in
wanna-
trouble on
I-
cruising up and down the
I-
Spokane Street, shooting off fireworks.
I'm going to
at
get
a
in
cop's
trouble because I
cop
just
car.
came up with the sequel to it. They could remake it now.
And
They could call it Ted Cock.
Stop.
You know, I'm pretty sure that's probably out there.
yeah,
is
yeah,
probably out.
yeah.
Good night,
Yeah.
everyone. Oh, introductions. He's likely the one of those homeowners who intentionally scares kids when they trick or treat by Mr. Sam Waples. How are you? Are you
That
one
is-
of the guys?
that's
would
real.
Would you scare kids?
Oh yeah, I used
Like-
to do it. No, I used to do this thing where I had it like set up where I could go from house to house to house, and I'd have like follow the kids, and you'd show up at the same house, and you'd have like that same. I
Yeah.
always dressed up for it, and the kid would just be like, by the third house, like I'm not going up there. And I'd open the door and I'd be standing there, and they're like, "How is he here too?"
So you
Yeah.
were by law stalking the
Yes.
children?
More or less, yeah.
I made
My neighbors were all like totally fine with, yeah, you can just run over to our house and hand out candy. So it was like, I mean, man, the amount of steps I probably got
Yeah.
in just from.
I made that up, that intro up.
That's
I
real.
was joking, and I can't believe that I actually hit the nail.
Yeah, I mean, well,
perfectly
it
on
summarizes me as a human, right? Haunting.
the head. What's your first rated R movie you remember in the theater?
I don't even remember what it'd be in the theater. I know what it was outside of theater. Titanic.
Oh, outside the theater?
Yeah, at my parents' house.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I remember my
Yeah,
dad
see,
about that.
he's a little younger.
Titanic is R?
Yeah,
there's
there is
a
a
steamy hand on the window.
Oh,
and
pay me
yeah.
like one of your French girls,
Painting.
Jack.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That'll do it right there.
Yep.
It's a
boob
it's a
shots make
PG
movie
right
R.
now.
Yeah.
Any sort of nudity,
Yep.
pretty sure.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But then probably in theater, I'm just gonna guess because I was 18. It's probably some like war film or
Really?
alien film
Okay.
thing. I don't know.
Wow.
But Titanic, I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Really?
I think anybody my age was Titanic.
Well,
So-
since that was your first movie, can you please agree with me that Jack could have fit on that fucking plank?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
when they
yeah.
were both,
Oh, yeah.
you're always like, here, let me get
Yeah.
up. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, you're gonna fall over. And he
Mhm.
froze to death.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Uh,
you and I and CP
Yeah.
and our wives went and saw the movie together.
Did we really?
Yeah,
I remember we saw the full Monty together as a
we
group.
saw that
God,
too.
really?
But
Yeah.
we saw that one, and both Renee and I are like, that was, I'll never get that time back.
Yeah.
I
It's
hated that movie.
3 hours
It's
of your
terrible.
life.
Yeah,
really.
it's terrible.
Terrible.
I was
movie.
really surprised the ship sank. Third, he's likely the only one of us who still goes to haunted amusement parks. Mr. Jackson Bolger, how are you, dude?
I good. I did it. You know,
do?
I did
went
last
this
this last weekend.
Wow.
It's a
Scarywood?
boy. Yeah, boy, and it's named correctly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
It's not for me.
it's like 3 or 4 hours of just like never being able to relax. Like
Really?
mind you, so the first time you go around, for the people that don't know, it's like there are actors that are there and they just are there walking around the park in terrifying costumes.
Yeah.
Let's put actors in quotation marks, please.
Well, some
I'm
of them
kidding.
do.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, it's because
But
I'm a
it-
drama teacher.
yeah. But it was like the first round you go around, like around the whole park, you're like, wow, this is probably like one of the scariest experiences because like you never know what's gonna happen.
Really?
And then around the 4th time, it's like, just jump out at me, like.
Yeah.
4 times.
Well, like you go to place, try and do different rides, different haunted
Yeah.
houses, stuff like that. And after a while, it's just like, you're not that scary.
I know you're
anymore.
back there, Freddie.
Yeah.
I know your shtick.
Yeah.
know your
I go,
shtick.
yeah.
The only story that I do have from the night apparently was so I couldn't really sleep that well afterwards. My heart was like pounding the whole night, and
It's the cocaine, Jackson.
yeah. Well, and so I have this like weird. I'm gonna admit this on air, but I have this weird irrational fear of like the bayou and like swamplands and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't. It's like there's pretty freaky stuff that goes on there. Like,
Yeah.
Juju Mama Doodoo.
yeah, well, not like that, but
Squeal like a pig.
I mean, I more mean like murdery type of thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there was one of the haunted houses that you go through, and it was based around a bayou setting.
Oh.
And it was like, apparently, I was holding my fiance's hand and I was shaking because I was so freaked out. So it was a pretty freaky experience.
Jackson, welcome to my house. You want to come in? Aye.
Yeah, I'd say no to that one. Yeah.
I got some crawdads.
Yeah.
I got all
We gonna
kinds of
fry them up,
things.
and you're gonna be one of them, there, boy.
Anyways,
I don't know what fucking dialect I morphed into there.
I first rated our movie was Django Unchained
It
in
was.
the theater, which
That's a good movie.
yeah, it was pretty good.
God, you're young.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
am
like,
23.
That didn't come out that long ago. I'm
Well,
like,
I remember taking him to it, and I read online that there was one scene in particular that was quite disturbing, and it was the scene where they sick the dogs on the African American slave, which is just traumatic as hell. And so I told him this scene's coming up, and I said, if you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, and you did. And I watched the scene.
he's 18 at this point?
No,
I'm
fuck,
like 13.
he was like
Maybe.
13.
How did you go to a rated R movie at 18?
I took him.
13.
Yeah, support. You can go underage.
Accompanied by a
My
parent.
parents.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, see your parents.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is
That's
it,
okay,
Puritans?
Sam.
This is why I was watching Titanic in the
Yeah,
basement.
that's okay, Sam. Your heart will go on.
With a bottle of Jergens.
Yeah. But I told you to close your. I did tell you to close your eyes. I didn't say you can close your eyes. I'm pretty like, dude, this is the scene. Close your eyes, and you did. And I'm watching the movie, and I'm going, this scene is not gory. It's horrible things happening.
Yeah.
But the scene is not gory. I guarantee my son is painting worse pictures in his head based on the sounds.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, Jackson. Open your
Than,
eyes.
Yeah.
than Quentin Tarantino ever could have come up with. And I was just going,
Yeah.
oh, I fucked up. Well, so
I mean, it's
Wow.
never really like stung on me like
Really?
yeah. Like
Have
the
you watched
bayou.
it again?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it
pretty-
worse in your head when you had your eyes closed, like your dad was picturing?
Honestly, like it was. I never really thought about it after like a couple minutes.
Mhm.
It's just a movie.
Yeah.
That's what I was able
Good
to tell
man.
myself.
Yeah.
yeah.
They all went to McDonald's afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what my parents always told me in scary movies.
The Titanic
Yeah.
crew all went to McDonald's after.
No, it was like more
In
of
hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me. I'm the old man who would have gotten away with it if it weren't for the meddling kids and their dog. That was going to make sense earlier, but that's my only Halloween reference for the night. I'm Pat Bulger, and my first R movie was Taps
Oh, I
with
saw that.
Timothy
I was
Hutton.
in college.
Timothy Hutton, Tom Cruise, and Sean Penn. Basically, the premise of the movie is these guys all go to a military school. The military school has been purchased to make up, pave paradise, put up a parking lot, and they stage a protest. And that was the whole concept of the movie. And spoiler alert, I think Tom Cruise gets shot.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. And I went to the movie theater in Sandpoint, Idaho. I bought tickets for something like, Dumbo in the Imaginary Playland, and I walked into Taps
Because
And
it was
I watched
art.
Taps. Yeah. And I was alone. I went to movies by myself.
Wait, how old are you?
Well, he's in Sandpoint. There's not very many people at that time.
There
His
weren't any
age.
kids. They all
No.
they locked them up at night. No,
Yeah.
but I
They're shooting up
I was
grub.
I was probably 13, 12, 13.
How do you guys do this? I was
Because
such
they
a
used to have
sheltered child.
multi-theaters. And
Multi-theaters,
so
yeah.
as soon as you buy a ticket, it says whatever. Nobody checks, and you could go.
You
Oh,
just
I
walk
think I would
into
have
a
been way
theater.
too
You
could
afraid
do that
to
now.
do that.
I
would
was
have been
terrified.
way too afraid.
I thought some guy was going to tap me on the shoulder and go, "Are you supposed to be here, son?"
Oh, I would have just been the whole time.
Yeah. I go,
Somebody
"Man."
walks by me and just to take their seat, and I'd just been like,
Yeah.
"I'm not supposed to be here." I'm sorry. I admit.
Bad boy. Let's get to cycling, shall we? Who's been riding? Let's fess up. Who's been riding? Sam, you say you've been riding outside.
No.
Okay,
That's not. Oh, well.
It's
it is.
Oh, whatever.
We're getting into this tonight. This is where we're going with this. So Paul's gonna just be bitter.
I count it. That's all I had time for. And instead of
I
not
think
doing
it's
anything,
fine.
I rode my bike in the trainer.
So I'm just gonna say, if you ask somebody, have you been riding? They said, yeah, I rode like a half hour on Tuesday. Wouldn't you say
Indoors.
Yeah, indoors. Does that separate? Do you make that separation? Is that equal to?
I think it depends. Yeah, that's a very good question. I think that if they were like, man, you guys, I see such patients that are you get them on a bike for 5 minutes and it's the hardest thing they've ever done, right? So it's my bar is pretty low.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But if you're gonna get on and do a scheduled workout with intervals,
Sure.
that's what I'm doing, and I think that's then riding, right? Because then you're training for something.
Yeah. Paul, you rode outside.
Yeah, I had last week off pretty much, and so I met with, as I mentioned, Brent Soderberg, and so I missed a couple of days that I planned on riding. Weather was one situation. The other one is I had a bunch of projects at home that I was gonna, when we were talking about that you're gonna do, and I procrastinated with bike riding and that type of thing. So, but I think I got close. I think at 170 miles.
Oh,
Holy
fucking fuck!
shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I got 30.
So-
maybe.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to touch, to me, because my
You
generation.
ended that sentence horribly. You went, "I want to touch," and then you went to something
touch
else.
something that
Okay.
that we were talking about earlier. To me, riding indoors, riding in. That's why you're here, Jackson. You gotta
Straighten it
wrangle
out,
us.
Jackson.
You gotta wrangle us.
All it takes is a
Straighten
little
it out.
eyebrow raise.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
know where we're
that's
going.
right. Dad.
That's a Def Leppard lyric. I want to touch you. Photographed by Def Leppard. Anyway, sorry.
I was just gonna say, for me, indoor riding was always a substitute.
Yeah.
That wasn't riding, but that was just so you could ride. It kept you in shape so you could ride outside. So that's the division of generations.
Okay.
So
Jackson, how was your
agree.
riding week? Did you have a riding week?
I rode so much over the summer that I do this every single year. I usually take October off pretty hard.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
No.
good to just commit to that,
Yeah.
yeah.
and not oh, I should be on the bike because, just commit. If you're gonna be off, you're done.
Yeah. Especially someone like me who comes into a race season with the mentality of I'm going to win every single race that I need to enter. It kind of, pressure mounts, and then to a point where it's I wouldn't want to do this anymore if I didn't take time off. So I think it's necessary for me. So I did not ride at all, and it felt so nice.
I didn't feel nice. I rode once this week.
outdoors.
No, it wasn't outdoors.
Got to make this clarification.
I'm trying to get kind of kick
the topic,
the machine going. No, kick the machine into gear here again and get going. And so and we talked about this last week. I was the first person to draw blood there and through my eyeballs with my 4DP test. It wasn't pretty. I'm not gonna lie. I was hungover. My wife and I had a really good night Friday night, and Saturday I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna do this." And the great thing is my numbers will be low, so my next workouts will all be easy.
Self-sabotage.
Except my sprint is up.
That's the alcohol.
Is it?
no,
That's the alcohol.
So you're saying, woo? Are you saying
think
like
that
the
I won
Williams
any of my
brothers are
races?
just hammered every race?
Hammered. You've seen most of those rides that David and I go out and just are full throttle.
Yeah.
We have
This
half
is-
a bottle of whiskey in it.
This is the guy with the car candy in his
Yeah, exactly.
rolling
The
around
car
a bottle
candy.
of bottle of bourbon rolling around in the back of his car. Where I want to go with this is I want to talk to you guys about fitness testing. We've been bashing back and forth since the last show about doing this, about all kind of setting a foundation for where we're going to go, getting a base number. And it's going to be funny to hear the perspectives on this because some of you might not understand. What did we do before smart trainers to establish a fitness base? Does anybody, were you right, Jackson? Were you right, in cycling hardcore before fitness trainers, before smart trainers?
Oh, yeah.
What were we doing? Do you remember?
I just train like hell.
Really? Yeah.
I didn't really live by a number.
Winter training.
I
and stuff
remember.
like that.
Yeah, I remember there would be like you had a stationary bike.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I
what
had a Tunturi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I remember there was like a trainer. Like you have to when there were Sufferfest videos, you just watch them and then you'd have to just like go hard.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a number to pick to, but yeah.
Perceived rate of exertion.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go harder and stuff like that. And those were so bad because hard because I remember my perceived rate of exertion was way higher than it should have been. It's like go at a 7 and I'm like, and I just fucked everything up. But for fitness tests, for getting an idea of where your fitness was, what did you guys do before smart trainers? I mean, how did you get a perspective of where you were? You did it outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just go as hard as you can for 20 minutes, and you take. I never had power at that point, so I just had a heart rate strap, and it's like, oh well, I was able to hold 190 beats per minute for 20 minutes, so that's your threshold.
Okay.
And then you'd like roll that into your training program, right? But that's what I always did. I mean, but I can't say like, man, I started that when I was like 21 or something like that. So I never did it when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like you did, more just training, right?
Yeah.
In general.
Well, I mean,
I don't think we ever set a base of where you needed to be or something like that.
I was always in soccer, so really my baseline was how the first game felt.
Yeah.
If I could sprint down everybody, then that would be a great indicator of how the rest of the season would go. But I never had any baselines.
Yeah. Paul, let's take us down old boy memory lane.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the only gauge we had was when you went out on group rides. No matter,
Really?
I mean, we rode all the time. Yeah, it's how much pain you put on the next guy. That was it.
Like you out in the country, can you chase down the raccoon or not?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Something real redneck.
You could catch a chicken.
Yeah.
You could catch
That's your
grease
baseline.
lightning.
I could
Grease
get it
lightning,
last
Rocky.
spring.
No, but I mean, we
sorry.
would go out, and I rode whenever if I saw a patch of asphalt in between the frozen heaps, we would go out, and
You'd be
you'd always
terrified
put
because it was some form of the devil because these roads aren't supposed to be smooth.
Yes.
Definitely,
But,
hang a random woman just like Salem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we would go out and ride, and you just put the hurt on the other guy, and if you dropped him on a hill or a flat or a crosswind, then
did
we
it.
didn't have. That's the only way you knew
So
you were.
my early years, we had what we called the devil machine test.
You had her erg though. You were
Yeah. On an erg. No, and Arrive had an erg.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And we had one in the back of our team bus, and you would do them on the way of fucking races. But anyway, and basically what you do is you would ride at a specific RPM. And you would increase the gearing at specific time intervals, and you would go as long as you possibly could. And if you made it 12 minutes, you made it 30 minutes, whatever it was, that was your Devil Machine test score, which we're going to be talking about here soon. Is 100% a ramp test that all these program platforms are offering. This was before heart rate monitors, so you would just go until you couldn't pedal a pedal stroke anymore at a specific RPMs. I do remember being VO2 tested when I was at the Olympic Training Center and stuff like that. And we had a couple, moments and opportunities where we had training camps with the medical staff here in Spokane where we did VO2 tests. I do want to say that the highlight of my career was that my VO2 hit 87. I was like, dude, you're all lungs. You're like just 3 points away from Greg LeMond. And now look at me.
Damn, that's high.
Sitting in
my
a bar.
high was, I think, I got to 71 or 72. It was one of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
I
But
was 68.
That's insane.
were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jackson's like, what the fuck? You
I've
guys
never
doing?
done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's hell.
Yeah,
Mine was
you're
on a treadmill,
breathing
though.
in.
Was yours on a bike?
It was on a bike.
Oh, that's
yeah.
way
All of them
better.
were on a bike.
Yeah. Mine was
Yeah.
on a bike.
And where you're breathing into this gigantic monstrosity,
Right.
you
Hoses
Controlling
from
you.
the
You
outside.
can't move.
like really
it's like this
dry air.
microphone is the hose, and I can't move if I'm riding. Just you got to keep your head up and stuff like that. It's just it sucks.
Yeah.
But it was a great measure. And Greg LeMond, if you ask him to this day, he still says one of the greatest performance measuring tools of cycling. But we'll get into that. So let's let me ask you guys about different tests on different platforms. Okay, we all, I think all of us are in some way, shape, or form on different online platforms. We live in a wonderful time where we have these testing methods, we have training methods, we have these trainers that adjust resistance for us. It's like having a high-end, stationary bike in your house. And if you're a dentist, you buy the high-end stationary bike and put it in your house. Fucking dentist.
Anti-dentite.
I am. That came out.
Yeah, I heard it.
I named myself, and all the British guys were like,
What are you
"Fuck
talking
you talking
about?"
Yeah, exactly. So, I know about Wahoo. I know about their platform, and this is the one I did last weekend. Was this one called 4DP, and it measures neuromuscular power, it measures maximum aerobic power, it measures functional threshold power, and it measures something else, which is so it's based. Neuromuscular, maximal aerobic, functional threshold, and anaerobic capacity. Big words. How about this? Your sprint ability, your attacking ability, your ability to push specific, and suffer, and then your endurance, your FTP. And that's the one I did this weekend, and that's the one I've done most of those throughout. I hate the test. It's horrible. It hurts like a motherfucker, and I don't think any of them feel good. But of the platforms I've done it, this is the one I've stuck to just because I really like how it adjusts the different metrics of your cycling ability at the specific time. Sam, you are a Trainer Road guy, and I looked up on their platform. They have a straight FTP, which is a 20-minute test, and they also have a ramp test. So, when was the last time you've done any of those? And tell me about that platform and the structure of those.
Yeah, I've used Trainer Road for the last. Man, I think in Bellingham at some point I started you could still ride year round. So I did only intermittent training with it, but
Sure.
I started using it probably let's say 7 years ago, maybe 10. And I loved their system. I loved doing the 20-minute test. I have done both. I did a ramp test for all of last season, and the numbers were wonky. And I think it's because I don't understand it. I tried to keep reading through it, and I'm like, I mean, you want me to sit it, like I said, 340 watts per minute, and then it just goes up. And it's like, how am I supposed to sit at after I've been at that and I don't get any rest? I'm now supposed to be up at the final end of it is like 550. I'm like, what? And then, it's like, you can't get to the top. Oh, you're a little bitch. It's like,
But isn't it a concept that you're not supposed to reach the high
I don't
end?
know. That's what I can't figure out. And that's the thing is like, I don't know if I should like time myself a little bit slower so I can like finish with it a little bit higher. But anyway, so I just reverted back this season. I started over and I did the 20-minute and I did way better because it's like, this is my goal. Just sit at it and suffer.
Okay.
And I can do that. Like I know my heart rate and what I can sit at. And so I think the 20-minute is the way to go. And the FDP does a 20-minute as part of it, right? The FDP that you did?
The 40B, yes, it
40B.
does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does 2 insanely high sprints for 7 seconds each.
Okay.
It does a 5-minute interval that you're supposed to go way, as high as fast as you can go in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gives you another quick rest, and then you go for 20 minutes. And then when you're finished with the 20 minutes, you got to do a final 1 minute.
I think that's a great
which is a
test.
nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is that when I used to be coached and I would do it, he's like, go do your warm up and then all out as hard as you can go for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
right? And that's all you're focused on.
Yeah.
If you are having to do all those others, they're obviously going to affect your 20-minute, but if they're factoring in all that, you probably get a pretty freaking accurate
It
number.
It does take into account the fact that you've done the prior efforts. So I don't think it's that classic, you only effort
hold,
times
like,
0.95.
Yeah.
That number. I don't know the
Mm-hmm.
numbers going into it, but Jackson, you're the Zwifter here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done their FTP test?
I think I did it one time, a while ago.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna sound like Paul right now. I don't know if my
gonna
Yeah.
rim brakes, motherfuckers.
well, I don't know if I love the idea of an FTP test for myself at least, just because I think it is a number that in my mind I immediately associate with the quality of rider that I am.
Oh wow.
And so after that, like if I see it on my computer, I don't know if I'm gonna be like, can I like continue to hold this type of effort?
Okay.
And so that's why I haven't taken an FTP test in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Anxiety.
yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
we need to do this. We need to, all three of us do this
Well, and
together.
it's like, for instance,
I'm
in
not fucking invited. Apparently.
Yeah.
No, you already did your.
No,
4DP
that was
is
it.
what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But like I just like to see the numbers that I produce when I ride or when I race, and I think it's always been tough for me to pin myself to a number. I know that sounds so like
No.
whatever generation I am, like I don't need a label, but yeah.
That is your generation.
Yeah.
But I've done the Zwift one before,
Yeah.
and it is a classic.
It's-
20-minute test.
Yeah.
Go balls out, and then at some point in time, which kind of cracks me up, it blurs your rider, like your rider's getting really
Like you're
tired.
going so hard.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was just like, "What the fuck is going on with my computer? Do I have to stop? I'm 18
Am I having a
minutes
stroke?"
into this fucking time." Yeah,
Right.
So I think it's it's pretty interesting and it's accurate. Now there have been results, and it's funny that GCN came out with this video today. As I swear to fucking God, I wrote the whole show before GCN came out with this. Those guys are fucking copying me. They got a
They got
camera.
something
in
in
their
their
head.
sure.
Yeah,
They got a camera
ESP.
somewhere. Yeah, they're
Oh,
paying.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
paying. They're following me, man. They're fucking.
Yeah, that was an interesting
Black
show if
helicopters.
you haven't watched it.
Yeah, about the effectiveness of FTP and about the fact that most riders truly can't sustain their FTP for an hour.
No, not even pros.
No,
No,
maybe
yeah, I agree with that.
55 to 60% they can maintain their FTP. So what is that saying about our training programs if we're training to a number that we honestly can't sustain? It's a little fucked up.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that all those numbers, people will like to have a definite, this is it. This is what I can produce.
Yeah.
And I'm training on that. To me, it's a target. At least it's a base, more of a base, anything else. That if you feel tired after a great exertion based off of your FTP
Yeah.
on a 20-minute one, then you're getting a workout, right? But everybody thinks it was the silver bullet. This is going to do. That's
Yeah.
the problem, is that in this industry, people have a product and they're trying to push their product.
Yeah.
And they use, whether it's FTP, this is the silver bullet. This is going to make you faster. This is, and that's what they're trying to do, is sell you on something. But I don't think it's a bad thing. It's because you have a base. So your workout's based off of that. Now I did my 4DP or PD
4DP.
Yep. Lex Dexia is kicking in.
Yeah.
Lipsticks. So I did that last year, and some of the workouts I was telling you, I texted you, is like, I didn't even barely broke a sweat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't test out really well on bikes and all that. I mean, and I think it depends on the individual. Some people are driven by numbers, and some are driven by, to me, when we go out on a group ride, that affects me more and pushes me more than trying to hold my number. And it's like, oh, I can't go any harder because that's my, max. I don't function on that level. But if it works for people and they're getting fit,
Yeah.
I mean, you start looking at what's his name in the Vuelta that won a couple of stages, who came off of.
His name's Remco.
No. No.
It's the guy who does live by those.
No, he just won a couple of stages. He was
the
on
guy who rides for
the
Alpecin.
Swift.
Right, for
Oh,
Alpecin.
it's
Fuckity fuck.
I know what his name.
J
is.
Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Vine.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
obviously
how he-
there's some stuff
yeah,
proven
he-
to that. I mean,
and they're doing it right now, the Zwift Academy.
Yeah, they're doing it
where
again,
Somebody's
yeah.
coming out of it, and they're going to get a pro contract.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool, but that doesn't always equate to being a great bike racer. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. There's too many variables in
Oh,
cycling.
look at YouTube.
So-
There's so many videos of people who are like Zwifters that just go out on the front and just shell themselves. 'Cause they're
Yeah.
like, I can sit at 400 watts all day, bud. And it's like, thanks for pulling me to the finish line. See you later.
See ya.
Yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
though, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, but when we talk about it, though, I mean, it is a great, for example, doing it now is a really great measuring stick to how your training is going to benefit over the winter. I mean, for example, my numbers, I wish I had them written down. I dropped.
Oh yeah, he conveniently lost his
No,
numbers.
I could get them. No, I went.
I was hungover.
My
Bourbon makes you
My-
faster, Pat. Everybody knows it.
my FTP went from a 311 to a 270 something. This over this test.
You are getting older. Keep that in mind, though.
Fuck you.
Seriously.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And you haven't ridden for the last like 4 weeks.
Yeah, I haven't ridden. Well, no, and maybe I can go. And I was hungover. I could pull excuses out of my ass as the day is long. But what it is it's a great measuring stick for
Right.
me to go in 8 weeks. I'm going to test again.
Totally.
And I want to see if I'm better than that. So Jackson, you were talking about I don't like to test. I want to do this. I personally look at it in terms of where am I now? Where do I want to be? And where do I want to be in April? When I get to that point. This is that body fat percentage, that VO2 max, that just those numbers. Am I going to go out on my computer and ride at what my computer says my FTP is? Fuck that. Because let's all agree, and I'd like your input on this, the difference between knowing what your numbers are and actually using it in a race doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Numbers are gone. Jackson, you and I rode the Belgian waffle ride, and I remember there was a guy who was like, I'm going to stick it on blah, blah, blah number for the entire race. We never fucking saw him again. And the guy was robo-fit looking, but, and I was just like, okay, whatever, man. Whatever works for you. What a boring fucking race.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look at my numbers the whole time. I'm going to go full Chris Froome and stare at my stem the entire race. What a horrible way.
That was like the ride across the state last year. We had one guy that was just so dialed with his numbers. He's like, nope, I am not going above this. And
Really?
we were going up over the pass, and it's like, dude, we're crawling.
Did he
Like,
make it to the finish?
He did. But at the finish, he was like, that was kind of boring. I'm like, that was kind of boring, right? Because he sat in for a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to go over that threshold because he knew that's what he could hold. And I'm like, that's kind of the whole point of this, though, is finding out your limits. But like, I think that you're saying is it's a great training metric.
Yeah.
But I also think like last winter, my brother and I did a ton of training together. And so like he just went off of my trainer road numbers, which mine are higher than his. theoretically, because I mean I weigh more than him, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
theoretically, I
you're
should be able to-
big.
yeah, I'm a big boy. But
You're
anyway,
thick.
I'm a thick.
THIKK.
Yeah. So
Is
he
that
would-
cool? I just made that up.
You know, like he would be trying to keep up with my numbers, and then because he's trying to keep up with my numbers, I'm like, well, I'm going to go higher, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that's why I thought it'd be interesting if all three of us did a test together, because it's like you see each other suffering and all that. Like I
Yeah.
thought it'd be fun if we did more of those group things, because it's kind of like the racing and riding mentality, right?
Okay.
Don't want to skip forward on your.
No, I'm about
Well,
to
let
jump
me
to
say
that.
something
I'm
about-
to jump to that. So,
on
okay.
numbers. So I think it was Matt Stevens. You interviewed that guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ding ding. He had Alex Dowsett, and he was talking about. Did you?
No, I didn't.
No, okay.
That's what I thought.
Anyway,
I
Alex
should.
Dowsett was talking to this Spanish rider when he was with Movistar, and he beat him in the time trial. And the guy goes, "What were your numbers?" And he gave him out like what he's doing. He goes,
Yeah.
I produce more watts than you do. I mean, and he goes, well, what'd you do? And he said, I averaged 400. I stayed at 400 watts the whole race, and you touched it only a couple of times. That doesn't make sense. And he pulled up the paperwork, and he said, so you were pushing 400 watts downhill, and I was going 0. I was resting. My heart rate, you can look at my heart rate dropping. Yours is elevated. We hit the hill because it's the bottom of the hill. I punched it. You stayed at 400 watts, and I'm pushing it over. And that's the thing. This guy pushed 400 watts almost perfectly through the whole thing and lost like a minute and a half. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Something like that off of him just maintaining, because that's what he could maintain. And everybody forgets that cycling is so much more than just watts.
Yeah.
It's like you have to use, like, I have to have a resting period. I need to punch it here. And it's all about a balance. It's not just this linear thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because it's like, I know that if we are all to take our test together, I will probably have the lowest FTP
Nope,
of all of
I
us.
can guarantee you.
I bet you won't.
You think
I will.
I don't know, because
Well, we
it's,
should do it.
I'll
yeah,
test
it's-
again.
And then well, it's always been
I'll test again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
that's
you guys.
also why I
and
think,
that would
like-
be an interesting dynamic. I'll drink more bourbon.
Game on, challenge accepted.
There we go.
I will outdrink you.
Anyway, I interrupted.
No,
I
no,
started
no,
the
I was
whole
gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah,
chaos.
please go,
okay,
guys.
continue.
Yeah.
I think it's so catered to the person, you know, just because it's like, I know that I probably don't have the best endurance pace, but I'm more of like an explosive type of rider. So I think it just kind of depends. It's such a weird metric, because it doesn't really it's gonna once again sound generational, but it doesn't really define the type of rider you are. Like if you look at an FTP test, I think there are other numbers that.
And that's where I'm wondering about this. And yes, I'm going to mention Wahoo is in essence a part of this show. You know, I mentioned them on this show, but they do break down the dynamics into your individual strength at that time. And what's cool is then you build a training program based upon either your strength or your weaknesses. For example, you know, I hit 1135 watts on the sprints.
Show off.
Well, no, you fuckers are gonna have to share your numbers next week.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. There's the arm on the bar.
When I show my numbers next week, it's like my pinky.
Yeah.
He hit 300 watts.
Yeah.
It fucking bounced. But I hit that, and it and then it defines you as a rider. But as you're saying, Jackson, though, so it's like, is that good? Is that bad? You know, but the great thing is there from there on you can build a program based upon how you did that particular day. And I guess you need to, obviously, one would say you would need to test after each macro cycle. Boy, do I sound an old guy when I say that. 8 weeks of training to see how things are going. I don't want to look forward to one of these fucking tests every 8 weeks, but they also have the ramp test, and so that's nice. Do you guys use the training programs on any of these platforms, or do you just kind of freelance?
Oh, I use it. Yeah,
You
I
do?
have it set up, and it's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Monday and Wednesday are
Based
and I
off of
chose-
their recommended
Yes.
program.
and then they adapt it. Like, because at the end of every one, they say like, "How was this?" And I'm like, "Easy,"
yeah.
because Mama didn't raise no bitch. Whereas because I'm actually dying on the inside. But no, like I follow those for sure. And I do Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday's like an hour and a half.
Okay.
And I chose that just because I'm taking into account that maybe hopefully I can get out on a Thursday, Friday afternoon and get out for an outdoor ride, and or maybe Saturday, Sunday I'm going to switch it for a outdoor ride. But I follow it.
Paul, do you create a training program or do you follow anything? Last year, you and I talked about the fact that you were doing some of the system
yeah, and I like that idea. And there was periods where whatever life gets involved, and you feel like you're behind, that type of thing. So, but I'm gonna try it again this year and be a little more consistent. But I think to me it was like opening up my hips using yoga, which they do provide. They have a yoga deal, and then that's a strength. There was one I was looking. It was just like this type of a core exercise. You had a full water bottle. I'm like, this is gonna be so corny, and it's like standing on one foot, and I'm like falling over.
Yeah,
I can't even
I do this
establish any balance.
The strength stuff.
And it's like it's not because everything's extreme. My generation was like, if you weren't to the max, then you're wasting time. Extreme. I mean, even our training. Remember, if you didn't go out for at least 2 hours, why even put your shoes on?
Dirt
it
on
was
it.
That was right. Who needs sunscreen? I
it
got
all
dirt
day.
on me.
Yeah.
I hear it all day.
Jackson, is there a method to your madness, or do you just kind of make it work?
Yeah, no, there definitely is.
Okay.
Once it comes time to get back into things, I pick specific days. Last year I picked a Monday, Wednesday, and then like a Saturday or something like that. And I would do like some sort of not very difficult. Mondays were like my weight calisthenic days. And then Wednesdays was always a race day for Zwift, and then Saturday would be whatever I wanted it to be. And last year it worked out pretty well. So I don't think I'm gonna really change that too much.
I have to follow something. I have to have a plan. I if you took how many times on these yellow legal pads that I have written, the next month, Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I do it constantly. I scribble these notes on a lunatic basis. And do I follow all of them? Hell fucking no. I mean, and with what I like about system is for example, today I was supposed to wake up at 5 a.m. and I was supposed to do a strength and a yoga workout. Didn't fucking get up. Didn't get up.
Is this 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
Or were you hungover?
No, today I wasn't over. Tomorrow I'll be. Do you guys work out in the mornings? Does anybody?
Yeah, have to.
How do you do it?
Well, I have a pretty flush schedule because I set my work schedule literally around like when I can bike. So, for instance, Mondays and Wednesdays I don't start till 10 a.m.
Oh, you motherfucker!
Nice.
Yeah, I know it's really nice. So it's like that's why I'm like. I get up, I have my coffee, I'm on the bike at 8, I'm off the bike at 9, I take my nice cold freezing shower, and then I go to work.
You gotta
Still
stop
doing
that
that.
shit.
I'm
Still
not,
doing it,
guys.
like
I'm
about
full
it.
in.
You're still
It is
Wim
the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
If you can get through that, I'm going to come out and I'm going to suffer so much harder next year.
Yeah.
If you want to kill
Only if
some
it's
swimmers, I'll
cold.
tell you what. Right now, take a cold shower.
Yeah.
Kill some swimmers.
Yeah. Just saying.
No babies in the
That's
way.
great. Yeah, that's great. Love that. But no, so like I set up my work schedule around that. And then like Tuesdays, so for instance, this morning I did my core workout because I don't start till 9, right? And then Thursday, Friday, I'm off early so that I could go do a ride outside. It's like I literally set up my work schedule around like working
That's
out.
cool.
And
Paul-
that's not available for everybody.
Paul, Jackson, do you guys do mornings, or you just? I mean, me, I come home at 5 o'clock and I'm like, I just want to hang out with Michelle and I want to cook dinner and I want to relax. In the mornings, I'm like, okay, I got to do it in the mornings. The alarm goes off and I'm like, nah.
Snooze.
Yeah. And so this time of year, especially, I go to shit.
I'm with you. That's how I was.
Really?
Yeah, there's no chance I'm gonna work out in the mornings.
What time do you guys all start?
I start at 7:30.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
No.
Paul?
Yeah.
I'm up at 5.
You are.
Yeah.
Do you
So
work out?
I should, and I have the way my job allows me. I'm actually not supposed to be working till 7, but all of us start a little early. We have phone calls coming in, and so I'm in my basement, and I have, I can do yoga, I can do whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not hopping on any trainer or anything like that, but I could do that in the afternoon when I get home. But I'm like you on the afternoon, and it was always been hard for me to train, in the afternoon, especially when you're in a relationship or something. You haven't seen your partner for a while,
Yeah.
and it's like, I'm going to go off for 2 or 3 hours.
See you later.
It doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
If you do it once a week, it's fine, but if you do it, it's not a good thing. So
The eyes are staring into the back of your head like
Yeah,
a laser sight. From
and even
a-
for
yeah.
me, there's a sense of guilt. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Dutch with the missus.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So it was more. That's why the morning ride guys, when they rolled
Yep.
out, it's like, what a perfect. There's times where I'm thinking, I don't feel like doing this, but I never regretted doing it. There's times where I stayed home, and I thought I should have gone.
Yep.
So, and once you get into that mindset, once you do it,
Yeah.
and you just get in that discipline, if you discipline yourself, you never regret working out in the morning, and everything's done, and you're fresh, and my mind's sharper, after
Like
a good
cold
workout.
shower.
Nah, they're never gonna happen, man.
See, that's
Never.
a dumb idea.
Yeah, it
Taking a
is.
cold shower.
So obviously,
Never
you've
regret
spoken
it.
by somebody who doesn't work out in the
Speaking
morning.
of, remember that movie I couldn't remember
Yeah.
last week? It's called Wonderful Losers.
Yeah, I looked it up.
That's it. Yeah,
That's a
Wonderful
great
Losers.
movie.
Yeah,
you
it
guys should
is.
watch it.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful loser for taking a cold shower
Yeah.
in the morning.
Do you do the
I am on
breathing
the
exercises
front
too?
and winning next year, I'm gonna look back and be like, "Hey, losers."
But if you're
Cold
not,
shower.
I'm gonna say go take a cold shower.
yeah.
Do you do the same breathing
You know what?
exercises? Because I think your wife would be concerned
No.
Yeah.
that you're taking these
Now,
cold showers and breathing
Sam,
that.
are we allowed? Are we allowed in the final kilometer to just take our water bottles out and spray in the face? Go,
Ooh.
there you
Yeah,
go,
as long as
fucker.
it's cold.
Okay, okay.
I will say to kind of continue on what we were talking about. It's like I have never been somebody who really like thrives in the morning time. I've noticed, like especially when I get to work, I notice that I need time to warm up into my day rather than I can't just get up at 7 or 6:15 and just like I'm ready to go. Like, and I know that my workouts would show that if I were
hate
to
those
wake up in the
fucking
morning.
people who are like, "Hi, it's 4
Exactly. Yeah,
So
like
you
that
hate me.
sucks.
They're triathletes. The triathlete, the big smile, the fucking toothy grin. That obviously they've been
My
to
wife
their
considers
dentist.
me one of those people because I get out at 5 o'clock. I'm coffee.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I'm ready to go. Yeah.
But with me, it's like
asshole.
Yeah.
with me, I've noticed that I have an internal clock. My internal clock right now is telling me you don't need to ride. There's no motivation, so what race do I have in November?
Yeah.
And then once like around holiday time, like funnily enough, around the time when everybody begins to associate gaining weight, I always like that's when my juices really start to flow again, and I really start to get back into training of it. It's just, and I that's something that's been really weird. It's just like letting my body kind of like just tell me, okay, now it's time.
This is a total compliment, but you train like a hippie.
I know, right? It's super weird.
It's just like, man, I'm just
gonna
gonna
trust
go
my
where
body.
where everything works.
Yeah.
man.
It's
I'm just
happened for
gonna
the past.
flow.
It's weird though. It's happened for the past like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
Where it's just
You're way too
I've
mature.
stopped and then I've clicked.
right.
It's
It's the worst.
I know. He's,
God.
he's smarter than a lot. of us.
What can I say?
Let's talk about the social dynamic of it. Let's talk about these are the months where we're all stuck in our own basements.
We don't have to
Where
be.
what?
We don't have to be.
That's what I'm saying. Where we all get trapped in these environments. And I remember there was a Paul, you know what I'm talking about. Probably when I use the term roller parties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where you would go to somebody's garage and you would set your shit up, and there
Put your
wasn't
keys
a
in a
workout.
bowl.
You'd put your keys in a bowl, and
He's joining in the party right now.
yeah, and next thing you know, you'd wake up with somebody else's wife, and you're like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
what?"
I got
I thought
When's the
putting
next
key-
one?
I just thought the saying "putting the keys in the bowl" really suggested that, but you took it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
took
yeah.
it.
They're
No,
level.
I mean, you put the ball on the tee, I'm gonna swing. That's not a golf reference. That's a tee-ball reference because fuck.
All
golf.
right.
Fuck
Yeah.
golf.
Four-year-old
But there's
sport.
mentality. But you look at that social dynamic of it, which our sport is so heavily encrusted within. You know, it's important to us to have friends to ride with. You know, and Zwift attempts that social element, but it's not there. You know, so talk to me about the drive to be able to say, hey, somebody's got a garage, and I'm going to get in. I'm going to touch base on the cycling public house again because that's my best idea I've ever had. But a place where, and the pros and the cons of taking all your gear, trainers are heavy, bikes are awkward, you know, and stuff like that, and going to somebody's place and doing a workout. And would you be willing to do that? If so, how often? I mean, Paul's kind of giving me this side eye. He's just like,
Well,
fuck that. I don't like people anyway.
Yeah. I like people.
Oh,
That's my problem.
I
get in
don't.
trouble with my wife.
Yeah.
I asked you to get a loaf of bread. It took you 2 hours. Well, I ran into so-and-so.
Ran into Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember Johnny?
No, I don't care. My bread, I wanted the bread. Anyway.
Jean, who spells his name with an X. Great guy.
But, to me, I like it like once a week. It's kind of a meeting to get.
Yeah.
For me, we have an obligation. When a bunch of guys say, okay, and my old boss, when I worked as an electrician, he actually had once a week
Yeah.
in his garage mahal, we would set up, and I had
Garage
back in the day with VHS, we put in
Yeah.
I put in a tape, and we'd sit around and we'd watch.
I
and
went to
talk.
some of those.
Yeah, and that was fun. We stunk up a garage.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt anybody's house. It's like the wives weren't complaining. They didn't hear this bzzzt
Yeah.
and a bunch of bullshit coming out of our mouths
Yeah.
and stuff. So I think that anytime there's you feel obliged, there's times where I'm like, I don't want to go, but then they're gonna
The
talk
guys are
about
gonna
me.
bust my balls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that obligation is always good, and it's a good thing. But to have a place where people can do that, like the general public, it's called spin class, and that doesn't
Fuck
work
that.
out so well.
Fudge
It
that.
does
Yeah.
not work out so. And some
You
people
just said
actually benefit.
fudge that?
Fudge that.
You can swear on this fucking show,
yeah.
you know, right?
Like, I don't swear that much, but I don't say fudge.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
man.
Come on,
This guy over
Jackson.
here.
What are you drinking? Is that Kool-Aid?
Jesus.
Man, how's your apple juice right now?
Yeah. Let me smell that. Yeah.
Mama did raise him.
Oh, I hear your shirt rubbing against a hairless chest
Yeah.
over there.
Oh my God!
Hey, you opened that door, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I regret that.
Yeah.
Well, fuckity fuck.
There we go.
There we go.
Now we're back to normal. All right.
So, but now about, being able to have a location and stuff like that. Now, we all have, I remember doing those rides, Paul, with
Frank.
yeah. And they were awesome. And then I remember, like, the second year, we'd all show up with our trainers, and he'd be just like, yeah, hi, really good to see you guys. I'm
He
going to
left
go
us-
have dinner with
Yeah.
my wife.
Yeah.
And we're all training in
Yeah.
his garage going,
Yeah.
we got to fucking get out of here,
Yeah.
man. This
It
guy doesn't
felt
want us here
awkward.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that consistency of having a place and not falling into that bullshit spinning crap where it's like, or what is it?
Pedal backwards.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
One-legged.
One leg.
One-legged.
Yeah. Oh my God. The system does have a workout that is one-legged sprints, and I'm just like,
Nope.
fuck you.
Nope.
I'm not gonna do that.
I
But
refuse.
I understand why they're doing. What you say?
I refuse.
Yeah. I do too. So here's just to refresh everybody. The public house,
Yeah. But like,
where trainers are already set up, or heaven forbid, the Wahoo kicker bikes. It is a place with coffee. It is a place with beer, and it is a meeting house for club meetings, for workouts, for rides leading and starting and leaving,
And warm hugs at the end.
Damn right. And an occasional ass tap.
Wow.
So
They do it in football.
Could
Hey,
you
as long as you say
go
good
shirt.
game,
would you
it's not
go?
sexual
Could you
harassment.
imagine going to a place like that if you had something like that?
I would like to say that I did that.
What?
You went to one. You remember that? Tailwind?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did that. I had trainers offered and everything.
What happened?
I got sick of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Were the numbers?
Who's
there,
at the
though?
top?
There was. I had nights. You were there on I mean,
Weekday.
somewhat. Yeah, it was like probably 15.
I was the only
or
one on
something.
rollers.
Yeah, he was.
What if pizza bites? What if pizza bites were available after the ride?
Oh, that would have been incredible.
Okay.
But
what
like,
do they call them
truly,
at the fucking? They're not pizza bites. What do they call
pie
them?
bites.
At Dito's.
Oh no, they're
beer buddies.
Beer buddy.
Mhm.
Oh,
Come on,
sorry.
Yeah.
I can't
dude.
smell 'em.
Until you get that figured out, you're not invited.
You're
down
not
there
invited,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
but
smell
like,
like fucking death when
I-
you're exhausted.
I
Garlic,
did that,
Grease.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was popular. I had
Yeah.
nights that were big, like big nights, and it was we had trainers that offered you could bring your own. Or it was like the first, like I think it was 5 to 10 of them we had offered, like
Yeah.
reserved,
Yeah.
right? And then, but it was awesome.
But let me add, and Jackson's the guy who can comment on. No, you can comment on it too. But if you had a work stand with an iPad on it with Zwift loaded, you walk in, you clip your bike in, you log in, and it takes your account, and all of a sudden you're off to do whatever you want. Group rides, races, workouts, stuff like that. Is that? We all have it at home though.
Well,
it's not for me. I
Yeah.
mean, Trainer
Yeah.
Road.
It's
Have you
not.
seen the interface? It's literally just numbers. Like I stare at
Yeah.
a wall and watch
See,
paint
I-
dry.
well,
Like,
I can
prefer
see
that.
where you're going with that, like because you did a couple of times like a group ride, right?
Sure.
Remember? And that type
Yeah.
of thing. The problem is if you get a bigger group, you're gonna drop somebody. The setup like what you had,
Mhm.
no one knows each other's numbs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You'd be
And
soft
so
pedaling.
like a trainer's road because you're basing
Zwift
off
does
your
have
own.
non-drop options, by the way,
Mm.
Yeah.
in club.
But I think if it's trainer road or somebody leading it saying, if you have, like you're talking about, you have your iPad or whatever you have
Yeah.
in front of you and you're doing your numbers, like so
So,
90%, do 90%. And that's, so you don't, because
everybody's doing it there.
Well, we know
their
cycling's all
numbers, their
about,
levels.
that thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the thing is
That's
that
gonna
way
be
you
a new
don't,
thing.
Yeah, it's new now. Yeah. So we're
So
apparently.
I think that way nobody's embarrassed that like,
Yeah.
I went anaerobic at 205 watts.
Yeah.
So, but the whole idea is to get people
Yeah.
involved. Like your
I mean, my
your
whole
little deal.
when I was leading those classes, it was all based about like this is an 80% effort, right?
Sure.
Like you can hold this for 5 minutes and you get off and you think, oh, I don't really want to do that again,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I would describe like what the energy and effort should be. It was really popular. I mean, I took like novice cyclists, and people came out every single spring and be like, that trainer rides helped me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, talk to me about the difference between doing it at home and doing it at some place you would go to.
Yeah, I think it gets spin classy real quick.
Yeah. You
which
got to be
is-
careful.
Yeah. It's really tough because it's like everybody has to do the same workout almost. Because then if you do like a ride, you're going to get dropped.
Mhm.
Totally.
Mhm.
Or if you do a non-drop, then it kind of becomes another spin class almost.
Mhm.
And so it's like you got to walk a fine line, and I don't know if I have the solution to that. But I also think that like if everybody has their own specific Zwift workout, like that Zwift has curated itself to their specific numbers, then I think that's different, and everybody starts it at the same time. Then it's like everybody's kind of going through that same effort at the same time.
System.
At their own level. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is system. That's what they do.
But then again, what is the difference between
doing it at home.
doing it at home and then a trainer saying, "All right, now we pedal backwards"?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I got my
You got somebody with
ideas
a
for-
ponytail yelling at you in your face going, "You can do harder."
Let me turn on the black lights.
Yeah.
Strobes.
Yeah.
But like
Fuck
that was the
off.
thing is like back in the day, like how I built mine was there was this I'll have to find the like business, but it was up in Canada somewhere, and they had exactly what you're describing. You'd basically had your own program that you were following, but it was everybody set up. They had like, let's say 20 trainers with a screen in front of each one of them.
Yeah.
You'd plug in your bike. You had your workout, and on the screen you had like, I can't remember
Your
what.
numbers you had to hit.
Yeah, exactly.
At a specific time,
And
everybody
it was
started
awesome.
the
Like, I
workout.
mean, just looking at like this trainer, like it was for elite cyclists, right, to go and train at, and it was very popular.
Well,
That's what I based my stuff off of.
Yeah.
I think like Jackson, like Jackson was talking about, there isn't any. If you could do that same program at home, but getting back to having that obligation of meeting these people, and there's a social element, and road cycling is very social, very social. So if it's coffee afterwards or beer buddies,
Oh God,
You
they
know.
smell like death.
oh, they're wonderful.
I'll change you.
Yeah.
Oh no! Every time
pretty good.
every time one of you motherfuckers is order those goddamn bread
Next time.
biscuits with
Next time.
Parmesan and marinara, I'm just like going. I'm exhausted after a ride, and you
That's
guys
good.
are eating hot death.
So good.
Oh, they're so bad.
So good.
But I mean, that's
So
what
bad.
it draws everybody together. You know, whether it's coffee or
Yeah.
beer
Yeah.
or water, whatever. So there's a beverage there. I think there is potential. Yeah, but getting dropped doesn't.
But
You're right.
Zwift will
Yeah.
never meet that community. I'm sorry. It will never meet that
I
community.
agree.
Being in person like this, like that ride where we all went out and died together, that was
Yeah.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
finished it with beer. It can be the same thing if you're sitting on a trainer, I think.
Do you think there's a motivational factor within cyclists to go someplace like this year round?
No.
No.
God,
That's the key. Now, I'm not talking about just indoor training. I'm talking about a meet for a ride, a location to finish rides, heaven forbid, a place to hear a podcast. You know, and things.
I would
like
say
that.
yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that without plugging their name, Medier is
Who?
Medier.
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
Seattle.
from Seattle.
They
Yeah,
do that.
we the lost episode of Pack Filler Bike Towns, which we all went there
Yeah.
and filmed. That
It's
hasn't
still
seen
like
the
an
light of
audio
day.
thing, isn't it? I swear I listened
Yeah,
to it.
I did an audio show, but
okay.
we never did the video show because
Yeah.
I needed to go back and actually see if there was mountain biking in Seattle.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
And
there is.
cyclocross too.
Yeah, and cyclocross. Yeah. So yeah, but Medier is. When I was there, I mean, it seemed like it was a great idea, but nobody was using it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem.
Yeah, I think what we're talking about now also requires a very specific type of personality.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, the idea of like going to like a communal space and all like doing like a workout that is just like solitary, I think that doesn't really that doesn't key me in. And I think that's the reason why I am a cyclist, is because I've never been the gym type of guy. And I think that's, at least for me, like, I mean, like with you guys, I think it would be funny to do like some of this stuff, but I also think like a group setting is also like one step away from being like a gym person. And I've never been that type of person. And I think that's why I like to do, like, for instance, my winter training. That's why I like to do a lot of it alone, because I like to see those personal gains on my own and then have some sort of competition or like competitive element to like express the gains that I feel like I have made. That's why I love our group rides so much during like warmer times, or that's why I always say on the show at a specific time, like, I can't ride inside anymore. It's because I need that outdoor element of a competition. Even if I'm riding against myself, there's that competitive element. But if I'm just like sitting in a space, like we're all doing the same workout, I just kind of feel like, oh, nice, I didn't beat any of you.
Yeah,
You
know?
haven't been with me, bro.
I
I'm
see
gonna
what
talk
he's
so
saying,
much
though.
shit.
But you can talk the shit, and the entire time I'm going to be like,
250
Yeah.
watts.
Yeah.
but the thing is,
Okay.
I'm in my mind, I'm like, I didn't beat you up that climb.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
I sat
No,
and I watched I watched the
I totally
screen
agree.
move.
I mean, you're
At least for
motivated.
me.
Your motivation is numbers and everything. Jax and I are not.
My motivation is numbers. My motivation is getting better.
Yeah, but
That's
it
why
is.
I
But
pick
you,
numbers.
of all the people here, you are more. You do the 4DP. You're
Well, I'm a
into,
nerd.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jackson and I,
You didn't
we
say
get
I
our
was a
jollies
nerd.
off of like the guy next to you. I don't even care what my numbers are. is if I made you suffer, that's all I care. If
Okay.
I did it doing 260
This is
watts
why
and
we
you
need
had to
to
do
break it
350,
Yeah, like
This-
I
So-
like seeing the gap
this
behind
is-
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
this is why we need to break it down to what is your watts per kilo.
So what you do is you create an environment where there are specific quote classes that are a workout, and you have specific classes that are fucking races.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go,
Mm-hmm.
and you go full. Whoever crosses the line first wins. And even the poor fucker who got dropped, you're all, you've all finished. You're on your bike and you're off your bike and you're yelling at the guy going, "Move your ass," or something like that. I don't know.
that wouldn't appeal to me at all.
Would
Not virtual racing has no appeal whatsoever. It has nothing.
I agree with you. That's why, like, I would say that, like, I have no interest in Swift racing ever.
That's right.
Like, that's not for me. But
I know some people
That's
do.
why
I'm
mean,
not
like,
putting-
at the end of it-
I do like virtual racing. I
Yeah.
do. It's fun.
but like at the end of it, if you're
it's-
both
it's-
shelled,
it's
it's,
a-
like that was awesome.
It's a blast out
You know?
time trial is all it is, though.
Mhm.
It is
Yeah.
it is your FTP
Versus another person's FTP.
and you sprint.
versus like what weight did you enter into Zwift?
The best
Yep.
the best online race I ever did was when we did the pack filler challenge, and it was just a bunch of us old roadies because we all started off really slowly,
Mhm.
and we just kind of started marking each other and going around. I mean, it was like a road race.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
The whole time, and I had so much fun with that. Jackson won it,
Yeah.
but that was a fun one. That was
Game
cool.
on, bring that back.
Right? Yeah. So, how do I finish this off? Rate your online training methods and your preferred training methods. Tell me what you plan on going through the winter with, and why. I'm going to start with Paul because I think this is going to be the most. What the fuck? I mean,
Paul's like,
I'm gonna ride rollers until they break, and I can't buy new ones.
I'll bust the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I have a set of rollers, and by the way, I'm going to challenge Jackson before the year's over, before the winter is over, and I want to video you going. Okay, I'm gonna see what these things are all about, and I think it'd be funny to see this.
But you have to have your beer challenge before he does that. There. I'll throw
I have
that
to
down.
do. I have to do the beer mile.
Yeah.
It's fuck Jack. I'm gonna do it.
Are we doing it live next Tuesday?
Do you guys
Is that what
want?
you just
Do
said?
you know? do you guys your fitness test? You guys your fitness test this
We're
weekend?
gonna do it toe-in.
Yeah.
What day?
Yep. Saturday or Sunday, whichever one
Let's
works
do
best for them.
Sunday. Sunday's supposed to. Are you available Sunday?
Let's.
All
Keep
right,
going, keep
Jackson.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
He
do.
might
The,
I'm
do
not
it on
sure.
his own.
I'll do the
Yeah.
beer mile as the
As we're doing
the
that, that
final.
sounds like
no,
a very
as
entertaining-
after you guys finish, I'll do the beer mile.
So let's do a Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not saying no.
Okay.
No.
Let's do a Sunday. Brent's in town. Saturday's weather looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and get a group ride out.
I can't ride. One of the days I have to work, but anyway.
Why are you working on a weekend?
Because
We
I'm
need to talk about this.
because I teach theater arts, and in order to teach proper theater arts, one motherfucker has to paint the sets.
Ah,
I
That makes
am that motherfucker. Where were we?
Back
Beer
to
mile.
me about winter training. Was that?
Yeah,
one?
yeah, something like that. You were all just stunned by my.
Oh yeah.
Whatever the
I
fuck
was trying to
dialect
figure
that
out.
was.
I don't know what it was. But
Kinda felt
for
good.
me, I think I really do want to like the system.
Mhm.
Wahoo system.
Yeah.
I think I need stability. I need yoga. If something comes up better where a group of us goes to, we find somebody who can do
Sure.
yoga together, then
Oh,
I'd be
that'd
more
be
than
fun.
glad to do that.
Mhm.
See another thing for the cycling public house.
Yeah.
Yoga
I think it's
classes.
important, and I think everybody can benefit
I
from
need to
it.
start a
but,
GoFundMe.
I will do. I think there's a period where I come home, see my wife, have a cup of coffee, we chat, and I have at least an hour where I can just get on the rollers or
Yeah.
do a workout. That's what I I really would like to do. If other things come in that are better, like if we figure out like a weekly get together, that's fine. If not, I'll go on my own.
Sam, personal preference.
So I'll be following Trainer Road. I am so dialed with my work schedule / like my setup that I spent all last winter doing. I can just go downstairs, hop on the trainer, done, doing my core workouts. But if we can get up like something set where we can do on the weekends, I mean, I think it's a lot. Like if we're doing a podcast on a Tuesday and then we, do another ride, like it's 2 days a week already that we're
sacrificing. Yeah.
Right. I mean, back to Paul's point. So
show's such a pain in the ass.
Is.
No, I mean,
but it's fun.
Because I drink and it totally, my fitness is like 5 days behind.
See, it's interesting though because
Sam brought bourbon. Yeah.
I go back to an empty home because I have a fiance that works
12
nights.
hours.
So
Yeah.
Bringing home the
works for
bacon.
me.
You could go home and train.
Yeah.
The rest of us, I'm like, I'm
what
going to go
are you doing? Go
Yeah.
home and train tonight.
Yeah,
well,
we'll
I'm
talk
gonna
about
go
that
play,
at
yeah.
another time.
I'm going to go upstairs and eat tacos, call it a night.
That sounds delicious. But yeah, I would just say that if we can get together like one night a week on a Saturday or Sunday and like do some kind of a hour and a half workout.
So
or
you're
something.
you're picking Trainer Road. You're sticking to it.
Yep.
Trainer Road. Paul was System.
Mm-hmm.
Trainer Road. Jackson. What? Yeah. I already know the answer.
I'll let myself click back into it eventually, and then I'll probably do pretty much what I did last year, which was Monday. She has a lovely gym's membership that I use, and so I'll go and do that.
What do you do in the gym?
I do like kind of like whole body stuff. I work on. I do follow something from cycling.com that gave me like a training program. Well, not a training program, like a routine, but I really focus on like the explosivity of it. So like when I do leg stuff, I don't just slowly do it. I kind of like shoot out. But I like to work, whole body. My arms could always be stronger. So could my core. So could my legs. But yeah. And then Wednesdays I'll do like either a hard specific Zwift training workout or like a race. And then whatever I want to do on Saturday, whether that be a hard ride or with you guys.
So as a Knight of Sufferlandria, you Zwift is your platform though.
Yeah, I like,
and that's okay. By the way.
No, I know.
It's okay. Yeah,
I like to. To be honest, I like to financially focus on one specific subscription service, and so I like the freedom that I get from it. I can ride wherever I want. If I want to just ride, which is really good for me, but I also like to have the possibilities of having like a workout too.
Yeah.
So it gives me that flexibility, which I really enjoy.
I never answer my own questions. I just realized
Please
that
do.
I very rarely
Do it.
answer my
I
own
want to
questions.
know.
I dropped Zwift last year.
Good man.
But I joined back in because of
The FEM.
the FUM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tour de France. And I like it. I like the platform. I like what they do. And I like the races.
So you're now paying for two?
Yeah. I am also paying
Way to
for
support.
System. I'm also paying for System. And I love what they're doing. And I will, I'm hoping that their RGT, is that what it is? Real Grand Tours, really steps it up this year because I think they're about to. And so that should be interesting to see what they do. So my training program consists of system-based workouts and a site that I've mentioned many times on this show, Darebee, DAREBEE.com. And it is a brilliant source for workouts that are mostly body weight based, and also some are kettlebells or something like that. Kettlebells, I said. But they're great. They're great workouts, and there are several challenges. For example, that I'm doing daily. I have in my office on my office door. I'm currently doing and this sounds silly, but I'm doing a push-up and squat challenge because my shoulders are terrible. My shoulders are destroyed. I need to work on them. And I know push-ups probably might not be the best, but it's the first thing I could do. And so I'm doing these and I'm doing them on my knees. You guys. I'm
Are you
doing
doing your
them on my
kegels? You're sitting there.
knees. Yeah, well,
Kegel exercises.
Jackson, listen.
I'm fucking
Send this out.
Sam. I'm tantric. I mean, I'm like Sting, man. I could go for hours. But anyway,
Okay.
I really am. It's a great source of workouts. It has challenges. It has regular training programs and things like that, which are really good. And you can isolate specific body areas of your body and do these workout plans. And so Derby, if you guys aren't on Derby by now, fuck you, because it's honestly it is a really good source of strength training, because you don't need a gym. Paul, you were talking about a water bottle, and you're like, this is stupid. I'm gonna, oh fuck, what? Why is this failing me? So it's a great way to do this stuff at home. And everybody thinks they need a gym, but you technically don't. So
It's a waste of money.
really,
Gyms are.
There's definitely a lot that you can do with.
I miss the gym.
Unless you have a corporation that's willing to pay for your
Yeah.
exercise, then that's worth the money. Yeah.
I miss going to a place to think about working out, because my house is my house.
Don't you have a room that's set up for it upstairs?
Well, yeah, but
So it's
Bender
when you
comes
get
in, he gets him distracted.
No, because I've talked to my wife about this, because she works at home, and I've said, the thought is to think about that you're going to work, not that you're working at home. So should you get up in the morning, shower, get ready for work, leave the house, go get a cup of coffee somewhere, and come back to work, quote unquote, would that be a more beneficial thought? And I thought about that in terms of working out, where we have these home gyms and all these Peloton bikes that have clothes draped over them, because that's all they're good for anymore, because I'm at home, and when I come home, I don't want to think about suffering. And that's where this goddamn public house, I think, is a great idea. But
I agree.
When are we going to get people out of their house? When they have internet access and they have Zwift and they can just pretend to do what they want.
We offer better beer.
Damn right. And bourbon. I think we're done. Are we done?
That's it.
Yeah,
We're done.
Jackson,
You guys-
eyes are on me.
I am. Well, we need to know if Jackson, approves of the show. So there are so many notes I didn't get through, by the way. And
Well,
we're
he had to sign
123
us
in.
off 2 weeks ago, the last time he was here.
Yeah.
So,
we were-
yeah.
it's all on you this time.
Yeah.
The guy who presses record and
Yeah.
writes the notes and does.
Yeah. Well, I write like 6 pages of dialogue.
We got
So,
the gang back
by the way,
together.
Karsten, I wish you could see the notes I fucking wrote.
That you
when-
didn't get to.
I'd love Karsten to death, but sometimes I want to kick him in the balls.
That's a good friend.
He is
Yeah.
a good friend. He is a good friend. Yeah, and he looks like Ernest Hemingway these days. If you guys have ever seen The Diva, if you
Yeah.
follow The Diva, anyway, like and share and tell everybody about the Pack Filler podcast. And what am I? Subscribe. That's the other word I'm looking for. I always get drunk at the end of these shows.
Since Sam's there, bringing in some
bringing
bourbon.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
bourbon that really
Maybe
makes me
Bourbon Boy
kind
needs
of.
to lay
It's
off.
like 10 minutes to go. I'm just like going, what the fuck am I saying?
What were we talking about?
Yeah.
Are we live?
Is
Yeah.
it foggy in here?
Yeah.
Whoa. Why am I
I'm
feeling
about
this way?
I'm about 12 minutes away from. I love you guys.
Oof.
Yeah.
Everybody run.
Yeah. And then I take my pants off. We'll catch you next week.
Oh.